Hello, it's 9 o'clock. Welcome to the Long Island Weather Update on May 15th, and doing it a little early because I'm tired. Uh, Unfortunately, I had to go out in the morning to a doctor's appointment and deal with just mainly light rain, but it was still annoying nonetheless. Still hard to stay dry even with an umbrella, especially once the wind picked up. But it was mainly just light rain for us here in Nassau County. The heavier rain is mostly over Suffolk County, as you see on this radar here. And that's the way it's been much of the day. It hasn't really been moving too much close to our area. You can see again as well. It is in on Long Island, but Nassau. It's mainly missing Nassau County, and you can see that right here. And you can see the outline of this low pressure area right here. You can sort of see the outline of it right here, circulating. It's cut off. It's very slow moving, very lumbering. You can see some heavy showers. One of these are even thunderstorms out over the east end, perhaps. Let's look at the lightning detector here and see what we got going on here. I'm not going to talk about the weather in other parts of the country. We're just talking about Long Island in this weather update. A few lightning strikes off the off the South Fork there. Looking at the satellite, here's our big storm here, and again, you can see that we've got this wrap. This thing is just a really impressive circulation on this too. Again, just another really. You can see how the coastal low is really starting to gain energy here, and he said the rain's been mainly light in Nassau County for the most part. You can go to the Conus view if you want to look at it as well. Get a wider field of view. So you can see just how big this storm system is. And yes, believe it or not, there's some wildfire smoke from Central America that's drifting over Florida. We've got a little more severe weather there in the Midwest, but I'm just mainly focused on this huge area of low pressure here. Very big area of low pressure that has now transferred itself off the coast. So I'm going to just show you, we're going to just rewind the radar a minute here. Show you what it was like a little earlier. So you can see that we had this heavy band never really made it into Nassau County. You can see it was mainly in Suffolk, especially eastern Suffolk has been dealing with the heavier rain. But for the most part here in Nassau, we actually had the rain stop for a little bit before resuming as some drizzle. We basically just have a combination of just drizzle and light rain over us right now. You can see the heavier, more steadier rain is out east. So let's look at the radar here. I'm not the radar, but I'm tired. That's why you hear me making mistakes. 59 degrees at Islip. Winds are starting to gust now. Northeast gust to 24. They're reporting heavy rain. So, Suffolk County is definitely doing a lot worse with the rain. We got temperatures in the mid-50s out east. Then as you make your way a little bit warmer over the city, closer to 60. Like I said, despite the east wind, it's really not that cold, but it feels raw with that drizzle that we're dealing with. Across the areas, there really any sense showing the highs and lows. There isn't going to be much of a range. Highs basically mid-60s, and the lows not going to be much of a range at all. Upper 50s, not much of a range. Well, I'm more interested in the precipitation amount. So let's take a look and see what we've gotten since this event began. Go back 24 hours, and you can look at this. Wow. The east end is already over an inch of rain. Wow, that's just impressive. So you can see the east end is really getting soaked. Even Ridge, almost an inch of rain, 0.99. 1.22 at Gabreski Airport. 1.53 at Hampton Bays. 1.27 at East Hampton. So we're definitely over an inch of rain. 1.23. And the models were showing that there was going to be an area of heavier rain out toward the east end, and that was definitely showing on the GFS. We're going to show you that in a moment when we go to the models here. Now, as you go back into central Suffolk and the mid-Suffolk area, half an inch. Then Nassau, only a quarter of an inch. And the city, just about a quarter of an inch of rain. And then let's see, New Jersey, it's about a quarter of an inch. So not a whole lot, except for the east end. So let's go look at we have a small craft advisory in effect. We also have a gale warning in effect as well for the coastal waters. That's in New Jersey. And again, we'll go back to the winds here. Um, and you'll see some of these wind gusts here. Oh, yeah, this buoy's reporting a wind gust to 40 miles an hour. East-northeast at 34, gusting to 40. And no reports of the seas as far as wave heights go. Let's see about this one. This one is reporting a 7.5-foot wave height here, and a northeast wind gusting to 34 miles an hour. So you're definitely getting some decent gales out there, and could be some minor coastal flooding with these winds blowing onshore, particularly in New Jersey. Again, this storm is fairly, intense. And it's not. I wouldn't say it's a strong coastal storm, but it's, for May, this is unusual. That's for sure. So let's go to the models now, and this is what I was talking about. So you see that green. We'll get to it when I go in a little bit later. You see this low here. So this low is going to cut off, and it's going to keep us in the wet weather for tomorrow. Probably not quite as heavy. It'll probably mostly light rain and drizzle, but it's still going to be nasty. And then we dry out on Friday. Now, let's see what it's doing for the weekend. So the weekend, it looks like there's some hope for the weekend. It's trying to build a backdoor high and actually suppress that next low pressure to the south. We'll have to see if that actually happens or not. I'm not going to celebrate just yet. So I'm mainly focused on the weather from now through Friday. So let's go to the GFS. Actually, I'm going to stick with the GFS here. So for a moment. So I'll show you what the GFS was doing. So you can see how that heavier rain is over the east end now. You can see that heavier rain over the east end. That's where most of the moisture goes. All right, so this low is going to kind of sit there. It's like I said, it's cut off. It's actually being influenced by a larger circulation, so it's just going to kind of spin in place for a little bit, and then that's going to keep the rain chances on Thursday and even Thursday afternoon. We still be dealing with a little bit of light rain and drizzle. We're not really going to be done with it until we get to it Friday. That's when we'll get our break. But you can see how slow and lumbering this system is. And it's going to produce a decent amount of rain. Once again, overperforming in certain areas. You can see this is what the GFS has. Look at that. Yep, over 2 inches, perhaps as much as 3 inches on the east end. And then that starts going down as you start heading west. But it looks like Suffolk County into eastern Connecticut and Rhode Island is going to be the hardest hit with the rainfall, at least according to the GFS. And let's go to the HRRR. Now, obviously, I'm a little earlier, so I don't have the 0Z run. Going to have to share with you the 18Z run. But here's the 18Z run. HRRR has the same exact idea. All right, so, again, could be as much as 3 inches in some parts of the east end. A lot of areas from Riverhead on east, 2 inches or more greater. And then between 1 and 2 inches, I would say, between Islip and Riverhead. And then as you head west, you're going to get less than an inch, probably 3/4 of an inch, probably in western Suffolk, half an inch in Nassau, and then less even further to the west. So this is where the moisture is coming from, this storm system. Looking at your dew points and wind flow, and you'll see where the moisture is coming from, because the air is pretty juiced up. You can see that despite the east wind, this air is not coming from the Canadian Maritimes. It's coming from the tropics. So if I draw this on here, you'll see it's just coming right around, and it's actually coming from the tropics. It's humid air. It's moist air. You can feel the humidity out there. And that is why we're getting all the rain. And even when it's not raining, you're dealing with all that drizzle. And you see we kind of continue with that into tomorrow. The dew points don't really drop all that much. It's not until Friday that we start to see them drop a little bit, though we're still staying in an easterly flow. It won't drop all that much, though, because when this air mass is not all that dry. So tonight, obviously, temperatures are not going to drop much from where they are now. And then as we go into tomorrow, with all the cloud cover that we're going to have, the temperatures are still, like I said, it's going to be damp, but it's going to be, the temperature is going to be right around where the dew point is, upper 50s to around 60 degrees is what we're going to have for tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty ugly day as well, pretty gloomy. And then as we get to Friday, that's when we'll see some improvement, and we'll see temperatures recover up to around 70 degrees probably, and hopefully maybe we can get some sunshine by then. But we certainly won't see any tomorrow, that's for sure. We'll be dealing with plenty of this gloomy, damp, wet weather that we are stuck in right now. We're going to look at a few more models here. Let's go to the NAM. We have the 18Z NAM to look at as well, so we'll go ahead and look at that as well. So here's the NAM, and you can see again, there's that rain. Though the NAM's taking it a little further to the west. I don't know if that's going to actually happen or not. I don't know. I have my doubts right now. Just looking at the radar right now, it's having trouble. You can see that there's a little subsidence here on the west side of it, and that is keeping the precipitation from making its way too far to the west, although we have light precipitation. I don't know if it's going to be heavier, but either way, you can see it lingers around. Now, the NAM actually gets rid of most of the rain by the afternoon tomorrow, though there could still be drizzle around. And then that low finally slowly moves on out. So we'll go ahead and look at our sky cover forecast. Obviously, no sun tomorrow, but going into Friday, yeah, it looks like it's going to be plenty clouds around according to the NAM. Now, if I do look at the RGEM model, which is the sky model, and again, you can see, look at this swirl here, this storm system. It's really impressive. Obviously, stuck in the clouds tomorrow and Friday. Yeah, it really doesn't look like we're going to be getting out of the clouds, according to this. Maybe a few breaks here and there, but probably won't be too much sun, but at least it won't be raining. Then as we go into the weekend, all right, seems like we're missing some stuff. And then we go into the weekend, obviously plenty of clouds for Saturday again. So if you're looking for sunny weather, can't even do that. So let's go ahead and look at the NAM as well with this system as well. And you can see it just lingers it around. And then here we are Friday. And then Saturday, you can see what's going on Saturday. And the NAM has also alluded to this idea that this low is actually going to get pushed to the south. And then hopefully we won't have to deal with any rain on Saturday. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that all pans out. So, yeah, gloomy weather continues. We'll go to the windy.com site as well. Kind of look at this thing here on the windy.com site. And I got to go to the menu. Hold on. Wind gusts. Here we go. This kind of shows you the circulation that we have here. And you can see we're still going to it's still going to be breezy conditions. As I wonder if we might need a wind advisory for part of tomorrow, according to this. Winds gusting up to 39 according to the Euro. We're still going to have this pressure gradient, and this low is just going to be sitting here tomorrow. And still dealing with it tomorrow. Still dealing with it. It just doesn't move away until we get to it Friday. But I'm using this model because I want to show the visibility to show you that even if it's not going to be raining, we're going to probably be dealing with a lot of sucky drizzle tomorrow. So let's go to that. I got to change. Oh, I got it on the right thing. There it is. All right, so you see what we got to deal with here tomorrow. So you can see the green. That's probably drizzle. And they're going to be dealing with most of that most of the day. Maybe we can get rid of it in Nassau for a little bit, but then it comes back. So, yeah, we may still be dealing with some of the drizzle tomorrow night. Finally, it doesn't go away until Friday. So, yeah, prepare for another sucky, gloomy day with, on and off drizzle tomorrow. Ridiculous. Gloom and doom weather. I absolutely hate it. Had enough. We've had enough of it. We've all had enough. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just doesn't, this is not normal for May, all right? No. It was never normal for May, but now it is because of climate change. So, anyway, yeah, for April, but not for May. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. Hope you try to stay dry. Keep that umbrella handy because tomorrow is going to suck just as much as today, most likely. Have a good night.